The lights of London never really go out. They pulse through the night like a living heartbeat. Neon reflections rippling across wet streets, laughter spilling from bars, taxis honking as they weave through crowds chasing the weekend. And somewhere in that electric maze was Adam. At 27, he had everything he thought he wanted. A flat in Shoreditch, a good job in marketing, a phone full of contacts who called him bro, and weekends that blurred into dawn. He was the guy who always bought the next round, the one who danced the longest, who laughed the loudest. Freedom, he told himself, was measured by how late you could stay out and how little you remembered the next morning. But lately, the laughter felt forced. The music sounded the same, the faces blurred. One Friday night, standing under flashing lights in a club near Oxford Street, Adam felt something he couldn't explain, a heaviness that had nothing to do with alcohol. The bass thumped through his chest. People cheered around him, but he felt empty. He looked up at the lights and whispered, "What am I even doing?" He left early, weaving through the drunken crowd, the cold air biting his face. The city that once felt alive now looked hollow. As he passed a small alley, he heard something faint, a soft, melodic recitation floating from an apartment window above a shop. It wasn't music. It was calm, rhythmic, hauntingly beautiful. He stopped. The sound didn't ask for attention, gave it peace. Words in a language he didn't understand, yet something in the tone spoke to him. Humility, serenity, truth. He stood there for minutes listening. When it ended, he looked up, hoping to see where it came from, but the window was dark. The street was quiet again, as if nothing had happened. That night he couldn't sleep. The sound echoed in his mind, a melody without instruments, a rhythm without beat. He typed into his phone, Arabic prayer singing UK, and after scrolling through results found a video titled Recitation of the Holy Qur'an. He clicked play. The voice filled his room. No drums, no guitars, just words, deep, controlled, and strangely emotional. He didn't understand a word, but it moved him. The title read Surah Ar-Rahman, the Most Merciful. The translator's subtitles glowed on screen. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? He felt his chest tighten. The words repeated again and again, like a question that refused to be ignored. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? He paused the video. Why does this feel like it's speaking to me? He thought. The next day at brunch with friends, Adam tried to shake it off. His best mate, Josh, joked, "You were quiet last night, bro." "You all right?" "Yeah," Adam lied. "Just tired." But he wasn't tired, he was unsettled. That night, instead of the club, he stayed home. He searched what is the Qur'an and read, "It is the word of God, revealed to Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, as guidance for humanity." He read on. About prayer, about peace, about the idea that everything in life, every sound, every breath is remembrance. It fascinated him. Here was a book that claimed to be divine, but didn't demand blind faith. It asked him to think, to look around, to reflect. Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. He sat back, whispering the words under his breath. Hearts find rest? His hadn't rested in years. Days turned into weeks. Between meetings, he found himself sneaking glances at Qur'an verses on his phone. Late at night, he watched YouTube videos, British converts sharing their stories. Some had been like him. Nightlife, chaos, emptiness. One man said, "I had the world at my feet, but no peace in my heart." Adam replayed that line again and again. The more he learned, the more conflicted he became. Everything he'd built, the parties, the friends, the persona, started feeling fake. The nights out were now heavy with guilt. When people laughed around him, he smiled, but inside, he felt like he was drowning. Then one Friday, something happened. He was walking home from work through Edgware Road, an area filled with Middle Eastern shops and restaurants, when he heard it again. The same sound, the adhan dat Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. It poured from a mosque at the corner, rising above the traffic and chatter. He froze. People walked past as if nothing unusual was happening, but to Adam, time stopped. The call stretched across the street, calm and powerful. He didn't understand the words, but he didn't need to. They felt alive. They carried the same peace he'd felt that night weeks ago outside the club. For reasons he couldn't explain, he followed the sound. It led him to a small mosque, its doors open, warm light spilling out. He stood outside, uncertain. Inside, rows of men stood shoulder to shoulder, bowing, rising, bowing again. There was no music, no priest, no show, just unity, discipline, and silence. He wanted to step inside, but something held him back. I don't belong here, he thought. He turned to leave. But before he could, an older man at the door smiled and said, "You're welcome to come in, son." "No one will judge you," Adam hesitated. The man's tone was gentle, fatherly. "It's just prayer," he said. "Peaceful. You can sit in the back." Without another word, Adam slipped off his shoes and stepped inside. The carpet was soft beneath his feet. The air smelled faintly of musk and clean linen. The imam's recitation filled the hall. Words flowing like water, rhythmic and pure. Something inside him broke. He didn't cry, but he felt the weight of everything he'd been running from lift. Slowly, gently. When the prayer ended, the same old man came to him. "First time in a mosque?" he asked kindly. Adam nodded. "I heard the call. I couldn't stop myself from coming." The man smiled. "Many hearts have followed that sound, son." Adam sat with him for hours. The man's name was Yusuf, a retired teacher. He spoke softly, answering every question with patience. "We don't worship Muhammad," he explained. "We worship the one who created him and us." "The same God who created you," Adam frowned. "But Islam feels so different." Yusuf shook his head. "It's not different. It's continuation. It's the same message every prophet brought. Believe in one God, do good, seek peace." That night, Adam walked home without music in his ears for the first time in years. The city's noise was still there, the laughter, the horns, the chaos. But beneath it all, he heard something else. A whisper. A memory of that call. He lay awake, thinking about everything he'd seen. People he once judged, now he envied their peace. People he'd mocked for praying, now he longed for their stillness. He stared at the ceiling and whispered, "God, if you're real, guide me." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cinematic. It was quiet, like the first crack of dawn. And that whisper, that one line said in exhaustion and sincerity, was the moment his life began to change. The next morning, London was gray and cold, rain streaking down glass towers. Adam stared out of his apartment window, still hearing the echo of last night's call to prayer. The world looked the same, yet something inside him had shifted. The rhythm of his days had been broken by something unseen, something that felt real for the first time in years. He went through the motions, shower, coffee, commute, but his thoughts kept drifting back to the mosque. In the crowded underground, he replayed Yusuf's words. "It's the same God who created you." That line hit him harder than he expected. For the first time in his adult life, he wondered if he'd been running from God instead of searching for him. At work, the noise of sales calls and office chatter drowned his thoughts, but every few hours, he'd glance at the clock and wonder if it was prayer time somewhere in the world. Millions of people, he realized, were stopping everything, eating, talking, working, just to pray. The idea fascinated him. What kind of peace makes you stop the world 5 times a day? That evening, he went back to the mosque. He told himself it was curiosity, but deep down he knew something was calling him. Yusuf was there again, smiling like he'd been expecting him. "I knew you'd be back," he said gently. Adam laughed. "Am I that obvious?" Yusuf handed him a Qur'an translated into English. "This is the book that changed my life," he said. "Maybe it will speak to you too." At home, Adam placed it on his table and stared at it for a long time before finally opening it. The first words he read stopped him cold. "In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful." He whispered the translation aloud. Gracious, merciful. The words felt like warmth. He flipped through random pages and landed on a verse. "And we have certainly created man in hardship." He smiled sadly. "That's true." Then another. "So indeed, with hardship comes ease." He closed the book, holding it against his chest. It wasn't just words, it was recognition. Someone, somewhere, understood the weight he carried. Over the next few weeks, he visited Yusuf regularly. They talked about life, faith, destiny. Yusuf never pressured him. He simply shared stories of prophets and verses that spoke to the soul. "Islam isn't a religion of blind obedience," he told Adam. "It's a relationship built on understanding." Meanwhile, Adam's old life tugged at him. His friends kept calling. "Bro, you've vanished," Josh texted one night. "You still alive or did you find Jesus?" Adam laughed but didn't reply. The club invitations piled up. "Come on, man," they begged. "You're missing out." He thought about it. Then he remembered standing in the mosque, watching men bow their heads to the ground. That image felt more alive than any night he'd ever had in a club. "Maybe I've been missing out on something else," he whispered to himself. But temptation is patient. The following weekend, he gave in. One night, he told himself, "Just to see my mates." The moment he stepped inside the club, it felt like stepping into his past. The smell of alcohol, the pounding bass, the flashing lights, everything was the same except him. He stood there, watching everyone move, laughing and shouting, but he couldn't feel what they felt. He felt detached, like a stranger in his own life. In the middle of the noise, a sudden memory hit him. The Qur'an recitation. The words, "With hardship comes ease." For a moment, the club's sound faded, replaced by the memory of the Adhan. His heart tightened. "What am I doing here?" He left early again, pushing through the crowd, ignoring the confused looks. Outside, cold rain soaked his jacket, but he didn't care. He walked home, drenched, whispering, "God, if you're real, please don't let me lose this feeling." The next day, he met Yusuf again. "I went back," Adam confessed. "And I hated it." Yusuf smiled knowingly. "That's a good sign." "How is that good?" "Because your heart has started to wake up," Yusuf said. "When something pure enters it, the old poison becomes unbearable." Adam nodded slowly. "I think I'm scared." "Good," Yusuf said. "Fear is just the soul realizing how close it is to truth." That night, Adam stayed up late reading. The Qur'an felt alive in his hands. He read about the prophets, men who struggled, doubted, failed, yet always returned to God. He felt connected to them, especially to one verse that said, "And he found you lost and guided you," he whispered. "That's me." The next few days were filled with small but significant changes. He stopped drinking. It wasn't easy. His friends noticed right away. "You've gone all religious now," they teased. "You? The party king?" He smiled. "Maybe I'm just tired of pretending." They didn't understand, but he didn't need them to. Every night he found himself drawn to the Qur'an. Each verse felt like it was written just for him. He began to see the world differently. The rain on glass, the rhythm of footsteps, even the quiet between sounds. Everything reminded him of a creator. Then one night, it happened again, the Adhan. He was walking home from work when he heard it. Soft but clear from a mosque he hadn't noticed before. He stopped in the rain, heart pounding. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. He followed the sound inside. The worshippers were already praying. The imam's voice calm and steady. Adam sat at the back watching. The stillness, the unity, the humility. It overwhelmed him. Tears welled in his eyes. After the prayer, a young man approached him. "You're new here?" Adam nodded. "I've been searching," the man smiled. "Sometimes the search ends where silence begins." They sat together, talking until the lights dimmed. The man showed him how to pray. The movements, the words, the meaning behind them. It felt strange at first, but natural too. When Adam bowed his head to the floor for the first time, something inside him broke and healed at the same time. When he lifted his head, the world looked softer. "It feels like peace," he whispered. "It is," the man replied. "That's what Islam means, and peace through submission." Days later, Adam met Yusuf again. "I think I'm ready," he said quietly. Yusuf smiled, eyes shining. "Then say it, my son. Say what your heart already knows." Together they recited, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasul." The morning after his shahada, London looked different. It wasn't the skyline or the gray drizzle, it was him. The same streets that once carried him to clubs and chaos now felt calm, as if the city itself had slowed down to match his heartbeat. The noise was still there. Taxis, chatter, music leaking from cafes. But somehow it no longer touched him. It passed over him like wind. Adam walked with a small prayer book in his pocket. Each step felt purposeful. Each breath lighter. He had found what the clubs, the lights, and the nights never gave him. Peace that stayed when the music stopped. But peace doesn't mean perfection. The first weeks were hard. The habits of years didn't vanish overnight. Every Friday, his phone buzzed with the same messages from his old circle. "Come on, bro. One night. You can pray tomorrow. He smiled sadly and muted the group chat. The pull of his old life was strong, but the pull of the Qur'an was stronger. At work, people noticed the change. He no longer joined after-work drinks. He prayed during breaks, sometimes in a quiet stairwell. Most colleagues respected it. A few didn't. "You're not one of those extremists now, are you?" one joked. Adam simply replied, "No, I'm one of those people who finally found peace." His family took longer to understand. His mother worried, "Are you sure this is the right path, Adam?" He nodded gently. "Mom, for the first time, I'm not searching for meaning. I've found it." She didn't reply, but she saw it in his eyes. The calm, the contentment, the stillness that no sermon or substance had ever given him. Each evening, he went to the mosque. The same adhan that had first stopped him in the street now called him home. He learned to pray properly, memorizing verses in Arabic. At first, the words were clumsy, but slowly, their rhythm sank into his heart. One night, after prayer, Yusuf found him sitting quietly on the carpet. "You look peaceful, Adam," Adam smiled. "It feels like I've been wandering for years, and I finally sat down." Yusuf nodded. Faith is not about running faster. It's about stopping long enough to listen. As months passed, Adam began volunteering at the mosque, helping distribute food to the homeless, organizing small Qur'an circles for new reverts. He met others like him, men and women from all walks of life who had walked away from the same noise and found the same light. One of them, a woman named Aisha, had once been a DJ in London. "We thought freedom was doing whatever we wanted," she told him. "But real freedom is saying no to what destroys you." Her words resonated deeply with him. They became friends, studying the Qur'an together, discussing verses that felt like pieces of their lives rewritten. When they read, "And he gave you hearing, sight, and hearts that you might give thanks," they both smiled. "We used to use those gifts for noise," Adam said softly. "Now we use them for remembrance." Despite the peace, challenges remained. The temptations were still there. The nightlife, the distractions, the endless chase of pleasure that London sold on every corner. But now he saw it for what it was, an illusion. The happiness it offered always came with an expiration date. The happiness of faith didn't. One evening, while walking home, he passed the same club where it had all begun. The same lights flashed, the same bouncers stood by the door, the same laughter echoed. But this time he didn't feel envy, he felt gratitude. Gratitude that he had escaped that cycle, that he had found meaning beyond the noise. He whispered quietly, "Alhamdulillah, all praise is due to God." A few days later, he received a message from Josh, his oldest friend. "Mate, we need to talk. You've changed and I don't get it." They met at a cafe. Josh arrived late, smelling faintly of whiskey. "You're really serious about this religion thing, huh?" he said, half smiling. Adam nodded. "Yeah, it's not just a religion. It's a way of living." Josh leaned back. "You were the fun one, man. Always up for anything. Now you're quiet." "I'm happy," Adam said simply. Josh frowned. "But you don't drink, you don't party, you don't chase girls. How's that happy?" Adam smiled gently. "Because for the first time, I'm not chasing anything. I'm being still." Josh didn't respond. He looked at his friend, the same friend he'd seen at countless parties, now sitting calm and clear-eyed, and something inside him softened. "You really believe this stuff?" "With everything I have," Adam said. "The Qur'an didn't just give me peace, and it gave me purpose." They sat in silence for a while. As Josh left, he said quietly, "You seem different, bro. In a good way." "Maybe you'll hear what I heard someday," Adam replied. "And when you do, you'll understand." That night, back in his flat, Adam opened the Qur'an to the same verse that had first touched him months ago. "Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny?" He whispered it again and again until his eyes filled with tears. Every favor, and from breath to belief, and suddenly felt monumental. Years passed. Adam's beard grew, his heart softened, his faith deepened. He no longer lived for weekends, but for moments. The sunrise after Fajr, the calm between prayers, the whisper of Qur'an verses at night. He had found beauty in rhythm, purpose in repetition, and joy in surrender. He began sharing his story at community events. People were drawn to his sincerity. "I didn't find Islam in a book," he'd say. "I found it in a sound that made the world stop long enough for me to listen." Whenever he spoke, he described that first night, The flashing lights, the music, the emptiness, and then the mysterious voice reciting from above a shop window. That night, he'd say, God didn't shout. He whispered, and I finally heard him. His story spread online. Comments poured in from people who felt the same void. I thought I was alone, one wrote. Your story made me realize I'm not. Another said, I still live that life, but I think I've started to hear the call too. Adam never saw himself as special. I'm not a scholar, he'd say. I'm just a sinner who finally stopped running. One winter night, he visited Yusuf's home for dinner. The old man was frail now, his hair silver, but his smile unchanged. I'm proud of you, Adam, he said. Do you remember what you told me the first day you came to the mosque? Adam laughed. Yeah, I said I'd just come to listen. And what did I tell you? That many hearts follow the sound, Adam said softly. Yusuf nodded. And yours did. After dinner, Adam walked home under a quiet London sky. The city lights shimmered, but this time they didn't blind him. They reminded him of guidance, how it can shine anywhere, even in the darkest corners. As he approached his flat, he heard it again, faint but clear. The adhan echoing from the same mosque where his journey began. The same words that once pulled him out of a club now called him home again. He stopped walking, closed his eyes. The words rolled through the air. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah. Come to prayer. Come to success, he smiled. I came, he whispered. And I found it. Inside his flat, he prayed 2 rak'ahs of gratitude, tears slipping down his cheeks. When he finished, he opened the Qur'an one last time before sleep and read, So remember me, and I will remember you, he whispered. I remember my Lord. And outside, the city that once sang with chaos now hummed with peace. Somewhere another restless soul wandered the same streets, searching for something to fill the silence, unaware that one day, they too would hear a sound that would stop them in their tracks and change everything, because sometimes it only takes one verse, one voice, one call, the call of the Qur'an.